All right. How you doing? It's the radio guy, the doctor, Mike Prince. Welcome to another episode of the Mike Prince Show, live edition. We come to you each and every day with something that can hopefully make you a little bit better, a little bit wiser in the world of athletics. We have a special show for you on today. We'll reach down to Corpus Christi, speak with the head football coach and athletic director of Ben Bolt Badgers, Mr. Gary Cunningham. Then we'll come back to Waller County, Texas, and speak with the new kid on the block, Miss Allison Brown. She is the new volleyball coach for the Lady Bulldogs at Waller High School. Of course, there's a lot going on, and we are going to try and give you what we can while we can with the time that we have. So without any further delay, we're going to jump right into today's episode. Hope that all are going well wherever you may be. Things are going okay with me so far. Okay. I say okay because my baby girl is away at college right now. She became officially enrolled at Sam Houston University. She's a Bearcat. Ugh. I'll get over that eventually. But she's going to be a forensic scientist with a double minor in biology and criminal justice. And we wish her nothing but success. A lot going on in the world of college athletics. Ohio State, the latest, want to kind of cut a fit along with Michigan, threatening to look for another conference if the Big Ten does not show forth like they have a little sense, at least in their opinion, to play some spring ball. We'll see how all that goes out. You know, these guys talk big and they talk bad, and it's kind of a problem that was created within. So they'll figure that out sooner or later. Meanwhile, rest of the people are coming to the grips with the possibilities of no fall competition. New Mexico, the latest to look at the handwriting on the wall and say, well, you know what, I guess enough is enough, and we'll try to regroup this thing and see what the end's going to be, which is the logical thing. And it's really showing just how selfish, and I really hate to say this, but how selfish football, in particular that of Power 5 structure, they are really showing their true colors. But it is what it is, and I can't wait to hear from Coach Cunningham to see all the insights of what led to the ultimate decision for the Badgers to say enough is enough. We'll regroup for the 2021 campaign. And a lot of people are thinking that 2021 might be too soon, but I'm not going to go that far just yet and say that, but it's going to be very interesting. Very, very interesting. So what we're going to do, we're going to prepare ourselves for our first guest. We'll take a break, and we'll come back. We'll hear from Mr. Cunningham himself and all that it took for them to come up with what they came up with for the 2020 season. You listen to the Mike Prince Show. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
Broadcasters come into our lives on radio and TV, bringing us information and entertainment. Broadcasters are there for us, but who is there for them when they fall on hard times? The Broadcasters Foundation of America provides financial assistance to broadcasters in acute need due to a critical illness, accident, or other serious misfortune. If you know of a broadcaster on the air or behind the scenes who may need our help, please share our message. Visit broadcastersfoundation.org.
Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union has 13 different locations to better serve you. Locations in Rosenberg, Missouri City, Katy, College Station, Bryan, Brenham, and Waller, Texas. For more information, you can contact them on their toll-free number, 855-391-2149. Or you can send an email to information@bvscu.org.
Hey, it's BJ Jones. I'm going to give you a little bit of BJ's Minute. Don't forget, the barbershop is coming to you soon, right here on the Open Mic Network. Got a lot to talk about. A lot of time to talk about it, so let's get into it. COVID-19, mixed with the social climate of this country, has really highlighted how important student athletes are. No matter if it's football or basketball, these young men, young ladies, they're visible. The thing right now is COVID-19. With conferences shutting down across the country, you got three leading the way: the SEC, the ACC, and of course the Big 12. Medical professionals in the Pac-12 and the Big 10 have told them it's simply not safe enough to play football. I personally believe it's not safe, and the schools didn't want to risk it. But doctors in the ACC, Big 12, and the SEC have said, no, it's fine. Not playing doesn't mitigate the risk. I feel like we should have a clear understanding of who's getting what from which medical professional. Because right now, everything sounds political. It's time to get the medical professionals out front and saying what they mean, because everything is said behind closed doors, and we're just supposed to give the people in power the benefit of the doubt. I'm sorry, with the amount of money that's at stake right now with football being played or not played, I just can't give them that benefit. We'll see how this trickles down to the HBCU level. We'll leave that for a later date. It's BJ Jones with BJ's Minutes right here on the Open Mic Network.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we continue to move forward. You heard from BJ Jones with Minute. I got a snafu. There we go. That always happens when you go live, but it is what it is, right? BJ Jones giving his analytical advice on the world of Corona as we know it, but it is what it is. We are going now to Corpus Christi area, and we're going to hear from the man in charge who really stepped out in the role of leadership, if you ask me. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But we're introduced to the Open Mic Network family, Coach, Athletic Director Gary Cunningham. How you doing this evening, Coach?
I'm fine, Mike. Thank you for having me on.
Well, thank you, sir, for allowing and opening yourself up to come on. And there can only be one, Coach. There can only be one first. And you said some history here in Texas, land of the living, as far as making what is ultimately had to be one of the toughest decisions in your administrative career, being the athletic director and head football coach, about deciding not to go forward with fall sports this year.
Well, Mike, the decision was taken out of my hands pretty much by our school board. We went to them and asked for a date to start that we could start practice. And they started asking questions, and I answered the questions as good as I could. But the question was, can I assure them that the teams coming up from the valley are going to do the same thing to stop the virus that we're going to do? I couldn't answer that question, and so really the board decided that we would not have football or volleyball this season more than I did.
Wow. So the power of the board rose up. I don't even want to ask the vote count, because I can pretty much imagine that had to be a tug of war within the powers that be. So what was the first thing that went through your thought process when you got the word that there would be no fall competition?
First of all, it was shock a little bit. But, as I've said before, Mike, my first concern and my heart breaks for these seniors that are not going to get a chance to compete their senior year. They've waited 4 years. This has been, this was going to be their time, their year, and through no fault of theirs, it's taken away from them. And I, as an athletic director, Mike, I got to see both sides of it. As much as it broke my heart for these seniors and these kids, the possibility of what could happen. I just don't know if we could live with it, if I could live with it, if something was to happen. So, in a way it was a shock, but in a way it wasn't. But like I said, my heart breaks for these seniors that were waiting for this year.
We're talking right now with Gary Cunningham, athletic director and head football coach of the Ben Bolt Badgers, 2A division in Corpus Christi. I believe that's Region 1. Is that not right?
Division 1, yes, sir.
Division 1.
Yeah.
Okay. And so with the news that's going forth, and unfortunately, when you read and follow this story, some of the fans think it's simply as a kid could just transfer and go to another school within the district or outside the district and pick up where they left off of. It's not quite that simple, ladies and gentlemen. There is a process that goes through this. Now, did you catch any flack? I'm sure you did, from people outside the circle of why did you guys do what you did? Oh,
sure. Everybody's got their opinion. There's the ones that think the virus is a hoax and that it's all made up, and then there's those that are just the opposite, or super cautious. And so yeah, we caught a little flack from one side, but like I said, it's a decision that had to be made, and as much as anybody wants to fight about it or argue about it, I can't say that it was the wrong decision. I worried for my kids. I worried for my coaches and for my coaches' families. And as much as I love football, as much as I love athletics and all of that, there's just some other things that are a little more important.
Absolutely. You won't get an argument from me at all, Coach. When you look at this thing and people say, well, the kids are young, they can bounce back. And that's not the total underlying concern that we have right now. But those kids have to be supervised by adults who are not as strong as they are with immune systems and everything else. And it can just be a potential wildfire that could get out of control real quickly, as there's been cases proven throughout the nation. And it's unfortunate that this has become a political tug of war, and we're missing the big picture in some cases, I believe.
I agree with that. I believe that's true.
So the next thing is, now you got the heartache of the seniors. And by the way, Coach, how many seniors did you have on this year's team?
Well, we only have 8. But we're a small school, but 8 or 40, the pain is the same for those kids.
Right. Now, historically, with the 2A divisions, if I'm not mistaken, it's 201 schools within the 2A ranking, and it's kind of spread out. So you guys have unique ways of qualifying for postseason play. Could you explain that to our listeners?
We have our district, and it's kind of large. We go all the way down to the Rio Grande Valley, and it's just on a win or lose basis. If you win enough games, you're in. If you don't, but the thing is you got 4 teams going to the playoffs now. Well, we're only in a 5-team district, so 4 out of the 5 teams are gonna go to the playoffs. So that's another thing that you take away from your kids is that opportunity. But it is what it is, like you said, and we just got to go on.
Yes, sir. And with you going on right now, when did a little research on it, you had a strong year, 2016, 4-0 in district play, and then the rest has been pretty much of, I guess, a stalemate, 1-4, 1-4, 1-4, almost like a dance routine. What is your scheme that you run at Ben Bolt?
Well, this is starting our second season here. Last year was our first year. We went 5-5, and a coach's statement is always going to be we were 2 plays away from being 7. We were close. We went 5-5. We run the slot T offense. It's we're going to run it at you, and we're going to make you stop it, and we're going to pound on you, and if we got to throw it, then that means there's something wrong, because we kind of believe that when you put the ball up in the air, 3 things can happen, and 2 of them are no good. So, and the kind of kids that we have, we feel like that they like that. They enjoy that kind of offense, because we're just gonna man you. And if you're better men than us, then you're going to beat us. But if you're not, we're going to pound on you.
Yes,
and we're going to make sure that you're going to have to play 4 quarters to beat us.
Well, I can imagine your games go pretty quick then if you're doing a lot of running.
Yes, sir. except everybody else we play wants to throw it all the time. So,
well, that's a good defense then, Coach. You keep the ball away from. Do you have a decent kicking game at all? Exactly.
Yeah,
yes.
That's one of our deals, is that if they don't have the ball, they can't score. So we're going to run the clock, and we're going to be very physical, and we're going to make you beat us. We're not going to help you if we can help it.
Absolutely. So I could imagine with you being, I guess, against the norm, because everybody appears to want to run a spread offense these days.
Oh yeah.
Teams have to get adjusted to get ready for you guys then.
Yeah, it's very hard. Our offense is based on misdirection, ball fakes, and people going every which way, and it is very, very hard to prepare for our offense in 4 days. If you're not used to seeing it, it puts your defense in quite a bind.
Yes, sir. Now, with that being said, I'm assuming that you had to choose this style of offense because of the type of players that you have at your access down at Ben Bolt? Yes.
Yeah. It fits into our kind of kids, our kind of offense. I mean, our kind of thinking. And, we got a bunch of tough old country kids down here, and that's what they like. So they enjoy it. And of course, we always thought, we were thinking, hoping that this year would be a breakout year for us. We had some great kids coming back, and it just kind of adds into the pain of the decision. But we'll go on.
Yes, sir. And it's sad to see it come to such an abrupt end like this, but it's better safe than sorry. We're talking right now with Gary Cunningham, athletic director and head football coach of the Ben Bolt Badgers. And one thing I love your colors, your royal blue and white. I'm partial to blue and white. And, that was my high school colors, fraternity colors, and everything else. So that's a good thing. Who would be considered your greatest rival in your area of play, Coach?
Our biggest rival is probably Agua Dulce. It's a small town right on the other side of Alice. They're about 15 miles. We're about 15 miles apart, and it's just been traditionally for years and years and years and years a rivalry between the two. Even though they're a smaller school, they're 1A, and we're 2A. But it's a great rivalry. The kids love it, the fans love it, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, the difference between the 1A and 2A is literally by about 30 or 40 kids. So
yes, sir. It's not much.
It's not much. So I can imagine the rival gets intense. Now, when you're in these 1A, 2A, and 3A communities, high school football is like a lifeline. It's a part of the bloodline to help pump these things up. Now, on a typical Friday night, could you talk us through the scenery of a rival game between you and your opponent? How many people are normally there, and the atmosphere that you have when you come to these rival games?
Oh my goodness. the towns, Mike, literally shut down so that, everybody can go to these games. The visitor stands in our stadium are rather small, so the entire fence line along that side of the field is just packed with people standing. Our home stands are pretty good sized, and they get full quick. But both towns just completely shut down. I mean, everybody's, as soon as 5 o'clock hits, they're on the road and they're there. And it's a great atmosphere. It's a lot of fun. It's just small town football.
Yes, sir. Small town football. And that's the exciting part about high school and college football. What drives us is because it's the pure competitive nature of this thing, which is once again why it's heart aching to see that these seniors won't be able to compete for their final senior year. Now, what we want to do, right, Coach, if it's all right with you, we want to have you go down the list of your 8 seniors and, what positions they were playing and what each one of them meant to you and the program.
I don't have my roster with me. I'm going to do this off the top of my head, Mike.
Okay.
Our quarterback was Jaime Martinez, a great kid, very smart, great speed. Our halfback is Chris Garcia, another kid, super strong, very fast, physical kid. We got an offensive tackle that it was basically the strength, the go-to guy for our offensive line. Marcos Gonzalez. Let me see. We have a tight end, Adam Pettis, another strong, tough, hard-nosed kid. I can't think of I think that's probably about it that I can remember right off the top of my head. But just good kids, Mike. That's all they do. They work. They've worked all their lives. They live down here in South Texas, where it gets just a little bit hot. So they're just good kids. We're going to miss them, and like I said, my heart breaks for them that they're not going to get to have this season to remember.
Yes, sir. Now, Coach, I was laughing when you called out your tight end. That wasn't nothing but an extended tackle.
Probably.
Well, with the scheme that you're running, Coach,
we make them think we're going to throw it to him every now and then, just to keep them honest. But yeah, you're right.
He might get a shot on a 2-point conversion attempt.
There you go.
Yeah, but like you say, now if you got to throw it, then we in trouble, right?
Something's wrong.
Now, Coach, as we get ready to bring this toward a close, are you guys going to be online, or I can imagine online would be kind of challenging in that area of the country? How you guys plan on coming back to school?
Right now we're scheduled to go the first 9 weeks, all virtual learning, all online, and that played in part of that was part of the decision to not bring kids on campus for athletics. We're going to go 9 weeks right now. We're going to go 9 weeks virtual, and then reassess the situation. And after those 9 weeks, we're probably going to go to a hybrid type schedule where some kids can come on campus if they want to, and some kids can stay virtual if the parents want to. So it's going to be very strange. It's going to be a very weird year.
Oh, no doubt about it. It's already been a weird year. They say 2020 is supposed to be the numbers of clear and perfect vision, but no one saw this coming. And we are definitely experiencing uncharted territory. Well, Coach, I want to thank you very, very much. But you got to promise, man, that we're going to keep in contact and keep some things going on. We want to hear from you from time to time, see how things are developing. And who knows, there might be a future partnership in the very near future. What you think?
Might be. We'll certainly do it.
Yes, sir. Well, Coach, we want to thank you again for joining us on tonight, and we'll make sure that we keep in contact to make sure everything is going. Tell those guys that everything is going to be okay, and tell the tight end in particular that this was the year he was going to get 20 passes. He was going to get 20 passes this year.
I'll sure do it, Mike. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you, sir, very much. That was Coach Gary Cunningham, athletic director and head football coach of Ben Bolt. The Badgers, they shutting it down for this year. The board said that enough was enough, and they needed to go ahead and get some things cleared up. So with that being said, it is definitely changing times throughout the country. And people think it's a hoax. They think it's not this, that, and the other. But it really is what it is. What we're going to do, we're going to take us a quick break, and we come back and get some more things lined up and situated and get ready for our next guest, Miss Allison Brown. She will be coming to us from Waller, Texas, as she begins her journey as head volleyball coach in Bulldog Land. You listen to the Mike Prince Show. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Dr. Mike Prince, the pastor of the Temple of Refuge Ministries located in Prairie View, Texas. I am extending a personal invitation to you to come and worship with us Sunday mornings, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Simply dial 857-777-0000 and join us for our morning worship. In the event that you miss us live, you can always go to our on-demand center at 720-721-1558 to listen to our latest sermons and Bible studies. Temple of Refuge Ministries, where we're building the kingdom, one soul at a time. Numbers to dial again for our live sermons, 857-777-0000, and on demand, 720-721-1558. Be blessed.
Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union has 13 different locations to better serve you. Locations in Rosenberg, Missouri City, Katy, College Station, Bryan, Brenham, and Waller, Texas. For more information, you can contact them on their toll-free number, 855-391-2149. Or you can send an email to information@bvscu.org. You're looking to expand your business or services? Let the Open Mic Broadcast Network help lead the way. With our customized campaigns, we are definitely able to reach your target audience. For more information, dial 832-213-8824. The Open Mic Broadcast Network, serving the community through faith and athletics. The voice of student athletics. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mike Prince Show live right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. I want to thank our first guest, Coach Gary Cunningham, all the way from Corpus Christi, talking about the Badgers shutdown. But now I got a Bulldog liftoff that we want to talk about right now. We want to introduce to some and present to others head volleyball coach of the Waller Bulldogs, Miss Allison Brown. How you doing, ma'am? And welcome to Waller ISD.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you all. Don't sound shy right now. You're going to be okay. I tell you, have a woo-saw, take a deep breath, and it's just like going on a serve. You hit the serve, get your target, and going to get it done. How about...
Oh, that's intimidating sometimes.
That's intimidating. Oh, you'll be all right. How about if we break the ice and you introduce yourself and give us a little background, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, so I'm native to Houston. I went to Jersey Village High School. After Jersey Village, I went and played for a little bit at LSU. Came home, spent some time in the service industry. I was a manager at Rudy's Barbecue for a while before I started teaching. So I actually didn't teach right out of college, but didn't take me long to get back into teaching. I started with club volleyball at Texas Tornadoes and then hopped right into the high school scene. So it's been a fun few years for me, but I'm excited to be a Bulldog now.
You're excited to be a Bulldog? Well, the Bulldogs are excited to have you on board. Now, we just got off the line with a coach who they've shut things down in Corpus, the first high school program to shut down in Texas. But it's been a little bit different at Waller, uniquely different, and you could go ahead and explain that. You're preparing for opening set match, which is scheduled at what time, what date, time, and who's the opponent?
We are actually opening on September, 15th, I believe. Mm-hmm. And I want to say it's against Montgomery and Bryan High School. And it'll actually be a home opener, if I'm correct with the schedule. There's been a lot of changes with the schedule, so I don't know if I have that right off the top of my head. But I believe it's Montgomery and Bryan at home. But, yeah, there's just been so much up and down with the summer. We were able to work out, and then we weren't. And then we were able to work out, and then we weren't. And so now we're back for workouts, getting ready for a season. So hopefully we can roll right in the season without getting shut down again. But it's just been crazy.
I know it's been absolutely crazy, an emotional roller coaster ride, especially for a new coach on a new scene, getting adjusted to your players getting adjusted to you. How challenging has that been mentally as well as physically?
Mentally, for me, the hardest part I would say was letting my girls in my previous school know that I was leaving over the internet. It was hard for me to not be able to have that conversation with them face to face, as well as trying to get to know my girls also over the internet. I got hired spring break, so I hadn't set foot on campus until summer workouts picked up in June. So these girls first saw me over Zoom, which for them is super awkward. Here's this new chick who I just know you because you're on Zoom and you told me to get on, so that's a very interesting aspect, but honestly, coming into workouts, the ones that I have seen, mentally they seem bought in. So far they seem like they're just ready to go. So that's been okay. Physically, it is tough for the girls, starting spring break, they weren't able to do anything until we came in June. When we came back in June, we were only on for a week. So that's hard going from March to June, not having a structured workout, and then that week in June, we were shut down again until July. So from June to July, trying to get back into it, that's hard as well. And then we were shut down again in July until August. So, coming back this past week, the girls were, they were out of breath. They were hard. They were hurting. They were sore. But I think that, we had to talk about being mentally tough and knowing that we have goals that we need to achieve by the start of season, September 7th. And I think that mentally they were able to overcome their physical hardships. So I think we're off to an okay start. So I think it's been okay.
Okay, well, that's true. Now, one thing I know that you inherited from our coverage of Waller Athletics, you had inherited a young team, which could be a good thing and a not so good thing at times, but it's good in the fact that you can mold the mind and create and develop new habits that they can be accustomed to your style of coaching, right?
Yes. As of right now, I don't have any seniors. So having this group of all juniors, sophomores, and freshmen, it's great to know that I at least have 2 years with these girls to really build those relationships. It's hard when you come into a new program and you have a group of seniors and you only get them from August to November or whatever it may be. And it's hard to build that relationship in that time. So I am excited that I have at least 2 years to really build relationships with these girls and really work with them and, help them with other things other than volleyball. I do consider myself somewhat of a mentor even off the court, whether it be school, I teach math. So a lot of the girls do come to me for their math homework, and whether it's relationships with their friends or, boyfriends because we're in high school. But I am excited to have that relationship with them for more than just a season. So that is exciting.
Yes, ma'am. We're talking right now with Miss Allison Brown, the new volleyball coach for the Waller Bulldogs. She comes into a unique situation. Heck, we've all come into a unique situation. No one knew that we would be in such a time as this. Now, with your club volleyball experience, and I had a daughter who went through the club. She played at Waller for a little while, and she's off in college right now. Club volleyball is a golden nugget from my experience that could be a good thing, and once again, a not so good thing. How important is club volleyball for those who play regular high school volleyball?
From the recruiting aspect, so for those girls who really want to go play in college, club is extremely crucial. I don't want to say that you can't go to college without club volleyball, but it's extremely difficult. So if for those girls that are looking for the next step, club is extremely crucial. As far as club's relationship with high school, it's kind of a catch-22. You know, it's great because you get those reps and all that competition outside of school, but there's also a lot more room for injury, you know. There's all that jumping outside of school after you've been jumping with me during the off-season period. So it's great. I mean, you get the repetition, you get the training, and hearing a lot of what other coaches have to say is great for some girls. Some girls kind of battle with, well, my coach said this, and now you're saying this. Some girls do battle with that. But for some girls, they do really well with it, which I think will benefit them in the long run because, you know, different bosses say different things. So that's kind of a skill you have to cope with. You have to know when this boss tells me to do this, that's what I'm going to do. And then when this boss says to do this, that's what I'm going to do. So it's great. But absolutely for recruiting, it's crucial. Do I think it's necessary for high school? I don't think it's necessary. Do I think it's beneficial? Absolutely. You just have to be careful and know your limits of your own body. So that's what I told the girls. You know your own body better than just listen to your body.
Okay, and when that with that type of instruction, a lot of people would feel when they don't understand that collegiate competition, although it could vary from Division I to NAIA, if someone is willing to allow you an opportunity to compete for a game that you've been playing since childhood, consider yourself blessed. And in some cases, with people not realizing it, you can actually have a more fulfilling experience competing on an NAIA level.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I have a friend who coaches at Temple College, and she had a lot of she recently had a little fundraiser tournament because they had some things get shut down, you know, with quarantine. So she had a little fundraiser tournament, and I participated in it, and she had a lot of D3 players come out, and those D3 players were, I mean, stealing the show. I mean, those girls work hard on such a level that is incomparable. You know, when you're D1, it kind of feeds your ego a little differently, you know, to be able to say that you're D1. So your work ethic is a little different. I don't want to say that you don't have a work ethic, but it's absolutely different. When you're D3 or D2 or NAIA, you know, you kind of have a little more grind and grit and hustle than most D1 athletes have because, you know, you may not have that God-given talent. You might have had to earn your spot at NAIA. So just that mentality and that work ethic, it's really unmatched. Those girls, they just get out there and grind, and they are truly like out there to have fun, but also to do things that people said that they couldn't do because these are the girls that have always kind of been frowned upon. But I mean, a lot of people in recruiting, they really focus on D1. If you're not D1, you're not anything. And I think that's absolutely untrue. You can have a very successful college career being D2, D3, or NAIA and have great things happen because of where you went, and it doesn't have to be D1.
Well, I'm so glad that you brought that up because, and I know you played at LSU, and I know you have club coaching experience, but sometimes it appears that some of these club programs are misleading parents, thinking that if they join a certain club, they got a better chance of becoming D1, when no matter how many clubs these kids join, how much money mom and dad spend, that kid is not a D1 player. They're a good volleyball player, and like I say, they can fit. And the mental part of it is that they feel like they have not arrived because they didn't get that D1 offer.
Absolutely. I mean, I think club is great, but I do think club takes a lot of the fun aspect out of volleyball. You know, we have to keep in mind that this is a sport. This is meant to teach us life lessons, but to have fun. And a lot of these girls go to club tryouts, and their only goal with the club tryout is to make a top team. And if you don't make a top team, then you know it's kind of frowned upon. So then girls want to go try out another club so that maybe they can get on that top team because this top team promised them whatever D1 connection that they have. And being on a top team is not an all be all. You know, you can be on a second team and still win the national tournament. You know, that doesn't mean that you're less than. That just might be a better fit for you, and you can really shine in that environment. And same thing with recruiting. You know, D1 schools are not for everyone. Yeah, they're great. Yeah, they're amazing. Yeah, it's a great accomplishment that you can say you have on your resume, and it's wonderful. But D1 schools, if you really think about it, are not for everyone, and not everyone needs to be at LSU or, Stanford or Penn State. Not everyone needs to be in those schools. That environment is not for everyone. And, if you have a girl that's talented and you just send her to a D1 school because she has the talent, she might fall apart in that environment where she could have gone D2 and really been an All-American at a D2 school, and you robbed her of that because everyone is so focused on top team for club, varsity for high school, or D1 for college. And it's unfortunate, but it is where we are.
We're talking right now with Coach Allison Brown. Now, Coach, I got to ask you this. What was your position when you played?
So when I first started, I was actually a setter.
Okay.
I was actually a setter, and so I set until I got to varsity my freshman year. When I got to varsity, I started off right side, but then made my way to the middle. Middle is also where I played in college at LSU. But senior year, I actually did get to play defensive specialist, which is interesting. I was the tallest girl on the court by a foot, just about, and I'm playing backer only, but it's because I had a shoulder injury. So, and I was that girl that refused to get off the court. I was like, I don't care if my shoulder hurts, coach. I'm going to learn how to serve left-handed, and I swear I learned how to serve left-handed, and I went back there and served with my non-dominant hand and played back row until district games started. But my position in college, I was in middle, and it was fun, but middle's hard, but it was fun.
Oh, middle is hard, and the libero
role
is extremely challenging, too. I always look at the libero as that linebacker in football or the catcher in baseball. They're the grinder, the go-getter, the physical, and sometimes, in most cases, the loudest one on the floor. And so,
yeah, they're all hard. I say middle's hard. Libero is hard because it's your job to literally make sure nothing hits the floor. That's your job. Setting is hard because you're involved in every single play. You're in charge of making sure your hitters can hit. You're in charge of knowing what the other team is doing defensively so that you can score the points for your team. As a setter, you have to have that mentality. As a middle, I say it's hard just because, honestly, we were the ones that had to jump up and down the entire time. So physically, being a middle was the hardest. But mentally, I think setting is probably the hardest, to be honest.
Okay, very good, very good. Now, with all that being said and the experience that you're bringing to the table at Bulldog Nation, you've had a chance to somewhat assess what you have. From what you've been able to gather thus far, although it's been limited, how do you see the type of scheme and rotation you like to try to run with the Bulldogs?
I think that, to be honest, I'm not really a textbook coach, if you will, where things have to go a certain way as far as what everyone knows about volleyball. I'm not super textbook. I truly do believe in working with what you've got. So with what I've seen so far, and I use that lightly because there are some parents that haven't been comfortable letting their girls out to workouts with the circumstances. So there are quite a few girls that I haven't seen yet.
Okay.
But working with what I've seen, I think my style is going to mesh really well with them because I think they're starting to, I haven't seen them very much because we keep getting shut down, but I think they've been very receptive to the fact that I am kind of a little bit not textbook, if you will. I do things that are a little different from what they may or may not have seen in the past, and I think they're responding really well to it, especially for it being the first time that they've heard it and being so close to season. So I think my style is going to be fine with this group of girls that I have right here. I think they're excited for something new, and that makes me excited to work with them. So I think everything will be fine.
Okay. Well, what led you to this philosophy style of coaching with this, I'm going to say unorthodox, if you allow me to identify it as that?
Absolutely. To be honest, it was someone I consider a mentor to me, Bill Walton. Bill Walton was the head coach at University of Houston for 24 years. He's coached a national team. He's played on a national team in college. He has a very impressive and extensive resume as far as coaching volleyball goes. And I had the pleasure of assisting him the last 2 years at Tornadoes. And he is a wealth of knowledge, and just being kind of his right-hand man for the past 2 years, I learned so much. And I learned that, you don't always have to do it the way that people think you should do it. You need to do it the way that you're comfortable with, the way that you think you want to do it, and the way that your girls can respond. Because, the way I coach this group of girls that I have in front of me right now may not be the way that I can coach a group of girls that I have 6 years down the road. and I have to adjust just as the girls have to adjust. So Bill Walton has really been instrumental for me and my coaching career these past few years, and I'm super thankful for him. But that's where I got that from.
Well, that is so critical and key, especially on the high school level. It's unlike college where you can go and recruit a specific player for your specific system. High school, even though you design to have a certain system, you have to really take what literally is available to you amongst the pick of the litter, if you allow me to say that, since we're talking about bulldogs right now. And
absolutely.
So when you look at that and you have that ability to adjust, that really, in most cases, should lead to a successful journey as a coach.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, I mean, I get what I get. I don't get to go out and scour every middle school across the Houston area and say, you come play for me, you come play for me, you come play for me. I get who I get from Waller Junior High and Shoals Junior High, and it is what it is. And I have to work with that. And like I said, there's some beauty to my willingness to adapt to what I have. But in the same sense, I have to hope and pray and, encourage these girls to also adapt to what I'm telling them, because that, with club is kind of the same. They get to pick who they want their setters to be for the top team out of 13 setters. You know what I mean? They get to pick who they want their middle to be for the top team out of 13 middles. I don't have that luxury. So with them, they get to be a little more textbook. They get to say, this is how we're doing it. If you don't like it, that's that. For me, I have to, adapt. Well, this girl is really good at this, but she's not so good at this. So how are we going to let her strengths shine? And then how are we going to make up for her weaknesses? And that's just kind of how I attack that. And as long as the girls are kind of on board with that, I agree. We'll be set up for a successful season.
Okay, very good. Now, as we know, we talked about club, how they have their picks of the litters and how they're setting these girls up for high schools, certain high schools and collegiate programs. With what you have with the two junior highs, are there any potential plans where you could set up some programs? They're not necessarily club programs, but a feeder program to help them get adjusted to the style of play that they would expect on the high school level?
Oh, I would love to do something like that. I've seen local middle schools to where I'm at in the Cypress area kind of put on like a fundamental like league type thing, type camp type environment for the feeder middle schools. I would love to do something like that. Unfortunately, since I got hired spring break and I literally haven't been to the junior highs at all, I don't know what that entails and what the relationship will be like with the junior highs. But yeah, absolutely. I would love to have a relationship with those girls from the time that they're in 7th grade and decide that they think they want to even try volleyball. I would love to have a relationship with them and really build some fundamental skills with them. And also to get them comfortable when they come to me. Some girls, as soon as they hit 9th grade and they walk through those doors, they're immediately intimidated. So having that middle school connection really kind of breaks that wall down for those girls as well. And they feel like they have some kind of safety net when they do get to high school. So absolutely, I would love to start working with those girls ASAP. But with the current situation, it's a little difficult.
Well, it might be difficult, but not impossible. I'm pretty sure a couple of people that that I might know, that we could possibly try to work something out on that. That's just thinking out loud.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let me know who you know.
Yeah, my people will get with your people, and then we'll get something worked.
Have your people call my people.
Well, Coach, I really and truly look forward to actually seeing you guys in action and seeing this thing get off the ground with great liftoff. I know it's a unique situation that you're in right now, but once again, we do welcome you to Bulldog Country, and we have a custom here at the open mic where we allow our guests to have some closing thoughts and comments, and the floor is now yours.
Well, again, I do thank you for having me. I just want to let all my girls, especially my volleyball girls, but especially the community know that even though this is going on, we're going to get through this. We're going to have some fun. We're going to get educated because this is still about education, and we're going to play some volleyball somewhere in there. I don't know how long the volleyball is going to last, but we're going to get to it. And again, I'm super excited to be a part of this community. I've been around. I've been in the area for a little while now, so I know what Waller's about, and I'm super excited to be a part of it. I'm super thankful that you guys are willing to have me as a part of your staff and as a part of your community, and I can't wait to get started.
Well, we can't wait to see you young ladies get in action. And just for those who may have been late, the first volley is scheduled for when and against whom?
September 15th against Montgomery and Bryan at home.
Okay, September 15th, mark your calendars. Hopefully everything will be a little bit clearer, that we can get some volleyball action as well as other action involved. Coach, we want to thank you again for joining in with us on today, and we look forward to more little visits like these down the road. How does that sound?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you again.
All right, that was Coach Allison Brown of the Waller Bulldogs. She will be getting the Bulldogs off the ground sooner or later, one of the two. We'll find out exactly what's what. What we're going to do, take us a break, and we'll come back with more of the Mike Prince Show right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Keep it right where you got it, and we will be right back. Let's face it, from time to time, we'll have a need for an attorney, whether it's the case of a DUI, DWI, or any other circumstances that would find you on the other side of the law. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, located at 1047 Austin Street, is the one to call. Attorney Lee Van Richardson and his staff are equipped to help you get through your legal battles. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, 979-826-8008 in Hempstead, Texas. Have sports, we'll travel. The Open Mic Broadcast Network serving student athletes from Little League, high school, and collegiate coverage right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. From coast to coast, from dusk till dawn. You can catch all student athletic action right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the station designed with you in mind. Serving the community through faith and athletics, the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the voice of student athletics.
Be the one with courage to fight child abuse.
All Texans must find the courage to fight child abuse.
Learn the signs and symptoms and report suspected abuse to appropriate authorities.
Learn and know these warning signs.
A child who undergoes changes in behavior, appetite, or routine.
Watch for unexplained injuries, a change in academic performance, or loss of interest by a child in regular activities.
Trust your instincts. If you suspect something, do something.
If you believe a child is in an abusive situation, please call the Texas Abuse Hotline at 1-800-252-5400.
Be the one with courage. To find your local Children's Advocacy Center, visit onewithcourage.org.
On behalf of children, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
At 17 cents a day, you can make a huge impact on our local and regional high school and college student athletic coverage. We provide talk shows, live game coverage, and much, much more. But we need your support to move forward. Visit our website today at obnradio.com. Click on the PayPal button, which is safe and secure, and become a listening partner today. At 17 cents a day, you can make a huge impact. 17 cents a day comes out to $60 a year. Will you become part of the Open Mic Broadcast Network team? Visit that website at obnradio.com and become a listening partner today. Serving the community through faith and athletics, the voice of student athletics, the Open Mic Broadcast Network, Prairie View, Texas. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Prince here with you with the Mike Prince Show. I want to thank our guest on tonight, Coach Allyson Brown, volleyball coach for the Waller Bulldogs. Also heard from Coach Gary Cunningham, athletic director and head football coach of the Ben Bolt Badgers. Two teams or two programs on opposite ends, one deep south in Corpus Christi, other kind of center Texas in Houston. One program is shut down. Another program is continuing to move forward. September the 15th is the first volley attempt for the Lady Bulldogs, and we will see how things will work out for that. In normal circumstances, we would be there to broadcast some of the home games for the Bulldogs in football, basketball, volleyball, baseball, softball, you name it. But with the current circumstances, we will be giving reports. But we will stay on top of things and make sure that you're abreast, as well as for the Hempstead Bobcats, the Royal Falcons, the Rose Hill Christian Eagles, Wharton Pioneers, Blinn Buccaneers, and, of course, my beloved Prairie View A&M University Panthers, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and I can go on and on and on. Langston University, Texas College. As I say, I could go on and on and on. And we know that we're at a challenging time right now due to the circumstances of majority of the collegiate world are having no fall competitions. But what we're going to be doing, we're going to dig into our vault of games. And I never realized how many games and shows that we actually have. And it's just mind-blowing when you look at all that you have in the archive section. So we're going to go through the archives, and we're going to blow the dust off of some of these things. And I don't want to call it Throwback Thursdays or Way Back Wednesdays. I want to come up with some unique name that we could come up with this. And maybe you guys can help me. You can call in on the 24-hour message line at 713-570-6736. Give your suggestion, or you can send me a direct message on Twitter at The Mike Prince Show. Give us some suggestions of what you think we could call this thing. And we're going to start rolling some of these games out. We have volleyball matches, soccer matches, of course, football, basketball, baseball, softball. We got a plethora of archives that we're going to be rolling out. As I used to say, roll that beautiful bean footage. And can't wait. Was listening to some of those things, and I was like, man, did I say that? We actually did that, and you don't even remember what you said, but it's recorded there. That's your voice, and you're the one who said it. And so with that being said, we are really and truly excited about rolling those back. Don't forget, you guys help us come up with a name that we can call this particular segment or series. Call in at 713-570-6736. Share your information, share your tidbits, give us some shout outs. We got some old interviews, some old shows that we did. Even this particular show, the Mike Prince Show, we did not start out daily. We started out with a once a week program, and then it picked up, and now we're coming to you literally 7 days a week. Monday through Fridays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Saturdays, we're producing shows for the Carlos Brown Show. Sundays, we come live to you on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. But we are staying, like they say, big hand, little hand, service around the clock. And we're mighty glad to be a part of it. And we know that we could not make it without supporters such as yourselves, listeners, sharing and telling everyone how and where to find our programming. So we truly thank you guys for that. And once again, we're in this together. And with that being said, I am going to head towards stage left and make my exit. We took a poll, and the poll was simply asking, do you believe that fall sports should continue on the high school level throughout the nation? 73% of you said absolutely. We'll see where the ball ends up bouncing soon and very soon. We want to thank our guest on tonight, athletic director, head football coach of the Ben Bolt Badgers, Gary Cunningham. Tough deal for the seniors, but a safe deal for the seniors. Then we want to thank the new kid on the block, Miss Allison Brown, volleyball coach at Waller High School. Can't wait to see how she get things off the ground. I want to thank our sponsors on tonight for helping us carry out today's mission. Thank you guys for joining in with us to hear today's mission. Don't forget, you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all at The Mike Prince Show. But I really need you to join our YouTube channel at Open Mic Broadcast Network. I've got to go. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. As always, you guys be blessed. We'll see you on the other side.